Bitcoin right now at $29,528. We had a dump off yesterday with a strong bounce back. Are we going to continue here? Are we going to see another pull down? That's what we're going to go over in today's market update. It is Wednesday, August 2nd. It's 8:29 a.m. And let's dive into it. So we have the bond yields right now. We're still riding up on that trend line. Right now we're testing this micro 786 like that. So far it got rejected, but this is a very small time frame. So we're going to have to see if this breaks up. If it does, then we're targeting 4.085%. And that's the key level that we got to get rejected by. If we look at the dollar could be going into its last phase of a rally here. So I'm expecting this week the dollar to hit its top and to roll back over. And this is this pattern that we have right here. That's a copy of back over here around July 7th to July 13th. Stretch it out a little bit to match with this broadening wedge. And basically we would see like a spike up today or tomorrow in the dollar, hit that 786, come back down with a hard rejection, break this trend line, and then enter into a down phase in the dollar until around like August 13th, August 14th. So that's what I'm watching as far as the dollar goes today. So I'm looking at the momentum on the 6-hour chart, on the 9-hour chart, the 12-hour chart, and we want to see this crossover. Right now, the 12-hour chart is not crossed over just yet. The 6-hour chart is starting to show, well, it did cross over. Now it's starting to cross up. So this could be that last phase that I was talking about as far as like in comparison, this right here, like this little, we started to roll over and then we had this last little kind of attempt to break above and then we get rejected back down. I think that's what we're getting ready to do today. So that's for the dollar right now. And then we ultimately want to see on the 6-hour chart, the TSI cross down below that zero line. But you can see how we have the same similar movements here. You see this like first kind of hump with the pink, the second hump, like first hump with the pink, second hump, kind of matching up with these little tops here like that. So this pattern is bigger versus this is a little smaller. So that's why we stretched out this downwards phase in comparison to that. So that's for the dollar. And if we're looking at the stock market, the US NASDAQ 100, we go to the 6-hour chart. We're at a key moment as far as this next move for the US NASDAQ 100 could be one that is a big pullback, or it could be one that takes it to new all-time highs. So we're on this trend line still all the way back here since like really March, because this can stretch all the way. Right now, if we go to the 1-hour chart, you can see that from this low to this high, we came down, we tested the 786 and bounced so far, reclaimed this trend line. So if we break this 786, we're going to have probably a more substantial correction back down, probably to around 14,240 to 14,500. Those are the extension levels on the breakdown. But if we come up here and we break 15,822, then we could have extensions to the upside, which could take it to new all-time highs. So the highest is around like 17,883, which would be a new all-time high if I go to the daily chart. And that would probably be, in my opinion, bullish for cryptos as far as like even back here when we hit new all-time highs for the stock market in like May, June, July of 2020. That was when the cryptos got out of its bear market into a parabolic bull rally. So we could see the same thing starting to take shape here, seeing all those same kind of factors come into play about 3 years later. So let's look at the total crypto market cap. If we go to the 1-day chart, we had a nice buyback on that candle over here, and then this one came back down. So I would say this key level 1.14 trillion we got to hold. We have the momentum on the 12-hour chart crossing up here. And then if we look at the TSI, we need to see more follow through and for that to come up through the zero line. If we go to the daily chart, we're above the zero line still. We need to see this cross like today. And then the stock RSI, if that crosses back up above the zero line, we can see this come up through the 50 line, and then we could have a nice strong bounce back. If we take a look at the low to the high up here, yeah, that's that key level, that horizontal line there, the 786, 1.136 trillion. If we go to the 2-day chart, we can see that the stock RSI has cooled off. The only thing that's kind of worrisome is that blue is crossing above the pink, because when the pink crosses above the blue, we rip, but when the blue crosses above the pink, we have a substantial kind of dip. But honestly, the past times this year that we've done that, it's been short-lived, like this right here, and this was more of a longer drawn out period. But this one back here was short-lived. And that little dip that we had yesterday and that bounce back could have been that moment where we had that capitulation event and it could be over. So we could come back down and see this cross back up, and that would be very bullish. If we go to the total 3, so the altcoin market cap, we're still riding that trend line. So on the 12-hour chart, we're still riding this trend line right here, and we really need to come up and break through this trend line right like that. I'm seeing like a fractal pattern playing out. I forget where I grabbed this from, but this would mean that we would bottom here and we'd kind of go sideways until the 8th, and then we'd have a sharp increase like back here. I think that's what I did. I copied this pattern like that and stretch it out bigger. So that's what I'm watching there. So we really need to hold 345 billion. That's the level we need to hold. It's a must. Then if we look at the signals here, if we go to like a 6-hour chart, we had a buy now back here. Just like we had buy nows at every single kind of local bottom here, June 14th, July 11th, and now July 27th. So this should be the bottom here. We're just going to maybe go sideways, but I don't think we go lower than 342 billion unless there's a narrative to go with it. But right now, so far, so good. If you look at the momentum on the 6-hour chart, we're starting to cross up. We need to see a little more follow through. We need to see a little more. It's a 6-hour chart. We're curling back over. I see like maybe like a July 9th to July 10th kind of moment. That's kind of on par with what we're thinking with the dollar as well too. July 9th, July 10th. Yeah, that's around like this area right here. So that's what I'm seeing as far as that goes. Maybe just one little dip back down and then we go. If we look at the stock market versus Bitcoin, we go to the 2-day chart. We want to see this fall. So right now we're seeing this trend line coming down. We only have a small ways up that we could go, because if we stretch this all the way out, then you can see that this stretches all the way back to 2018. So then we have this trend line coming up like that. And when we break this, every single time when we break kind of that upward sloping trend line, we go into a massive bull market. Like when we broke this right here, October 2020, massive bull market. And we only have until like the end of September where we could go sideways in here until we go into a massive bull market. So time, the time's ticking for this to happen, and we're super close. And then this is the altcoin season pulse chart. Right now we got a 2-day buy now signal. We're testing the upward kind of resistance here. We want to see this roll back over. If we go to the 3-day chart, we want to see this blue take hold, and we want to see this TSI go below the 0 line. Right now, we don't have that just yet. This could be another phase, where we see like we dip below the 50 line in the RSI here, and then we kept popping up. So I'm not ruling that out of the cards. We still need to wait until confirmation, because that could be something that pans out as well too. So we got to make sure that we're breaking those key levels and we're getting rejected by the key levels. And right now we're at one. If we go to the weekly chart though, we have that sell now signal. It's just, we got to break that market structure. So taking that trend line, drawing it up like that, we got to break that trend line. Once it does, it's game over. But for now, we're holding above. If we look at Bitcoin dominance, we did get a 1-day long entry signal. If we go to the 1-week chart though, we do have that sell now. So that 1-week sell now coming in, we just need to see that market structure break. So breaking that trend line is going to be critical for this as well too. But we're very close. If we look at others dominance, so this is like the opposite of Bitcoin dominance, really like we're testing, we need to break above this trend line, this downward sloping resistance. And then for Bitcoin dominance, we need to break this upward sloping support. So if we see this break down, we see this break up, that's alt season right there. Then if we look at Bitcoin right now, I'm still on edge for a potential kind of one of these to take shape where we do something like this. So I'm not ruling that out of the cards, but I think we already did it. We did it right here and then we reversed right back up. But still, this could be a scenario where we come back down for one more retest. But it does look similar to back here where we had that, see how it's kind of like the same thing here, where we come down, we go sideways, then we come up, we come down, and then we immediately get bought back. And in comparison, if we were in one of those moments, then it would be equivalent to us being like in here right now. So really we need to hold that $29,400 level, 29,000 at the most, because this would mean that we're doing something like that and doing something like this back here, getting hung up at that super guppy, ready to rip up further. But yeah, as you can see though, we broke the 786. So we came down right to that 1618 extension. And then we ripped back up and got right back above the 786 towards the upside and held it as support so far. So 29,400 is that 786 level we need to hold. So I'm going to mark that right there. So right there. So if we can hold that, then we can come back up and we could give, so from this high down to this low, we actually did get rejected by the 786 right there. But if I was grabbing it like, so this is where it was at. So if we can hold here and we come back up, then 30,446 are like 30,500. We can get back above there, then things are getting very interesting because we could just shoot up and reach like 31, 32, 33, even 34 and start that next phase for Bitcoin going up here, which will pull the altcoins up along with it. So that's on the radar as well. But if we do pull back down, 27K final stand. But on the 1 day chart, we do have the momentum starting to come up. The stock RSI, the TSI is starting to come, and the pink finally found a heartbeat and is coming up, and this blue is starting to come down, just like it was back June 18th. So similar stuff going on. Then if we look at XRP, so must level that we got to hold is like 67.5. 67.5 got to hold. If we take this low to this high as well too, for 68 cents. Because if not, if we can't hold that, then we could come down to 65, 62, and even 58. So definitely keep that on the radar. I'm watching this fractal on the 4-hour chart as far as XRP goes, where we're looking like we're doing something similar to back before we started to rip. We just got another 4-hour buy now signal. So these two called the bottom here, these two called the top. So we want to see this reverse back up now and do something like this. We want to see this take shape. And if this does pan out, then we could see 85 cents by August 6th, by this weekend, if this is going to be the case. So, and that would be a great trade. So this is what I'm watching as far as that goes. And then if we look at the 6-hour chart, we need to see that TSI cross up, that MACD cross up. And then on the daily chart, yeah, we definitely need to see the stock RSI and the momentum start to come up. We do have some 1 day, 2 day sell now signals. So we do need to see some immediate strength back in XRP and the whole market. On the 12-hour chart, this seems promising though, that we're seeing this cross up here. We need to see this blue come down, pink come up, TSI cross up, MACD cross up. And I believe that will spike faster than a lot of people think if that can pan out. So that's for XRP. And then the same thing's going to apply with XLM as well too. Right now, the 786, I think we've retested. So from this low to this high up here, we came down to 14.5 cents, held it. And now we're doing a more micro structure here from low to high. And that 786 is around like 0.147. So critical level for us to hold here, this zone like that. If we don't hold it, then we could come down here around 13 cents and we'll have this low to this high. And yeah, 13.5 cents, we'll test that 786, see if we can hold it then. So that's what I'm seeing there. We need to see the momentum kick back in though. What I'm seeing right now for XLM against Bitcoin, because that is telling a clearer story. We're seeing on the 4-hour chart for XLM against Bitcoin, prepare to buy soon. And we're getting close to this fib forecast overlap zone. So we want to see this flash of buy now on the 4-hour and us to hold that 0.00005 level. Very important. But we're seeing similar 4-hour signals like we seen prepare to buy soon right before we ripped up. We got the sell now hitting these tops and then these lows here. So we could be in this phase, you know, where we kind of hang out below here. We give it a shot to come up, come back down, give it a shot to come up, come back down. And then we ultimately cross up and then we see this cross up. So that would provide a nice rip. So that I think that was like a 20% rip or 15% rip against Bitcoin in a day. That was on the FOMC meeting day with XLM. So we could see another similar move at XLM to the upside like that. But if not, then I'm targeting this 200 moving average as the support if we do break this fib overlap zone, because we have this low to this high. The 786 is right in line with it. The breakdown of this micro fib is the 4236 right at it as well too. And we have the 200 moving average sitting as support as well. So that's on the radar. We do have some hidden bullish divergence because we have a low and a lower low in the RSI, and we have a low and a higher low right now. So we just need to see that 4-hour buy now signal flash ASAP for XLM against Bitcoin. So those are the things I'm watching today. Watch the bond yields, watch the dollar, watch Bitcoin and the total crypto market cap and the altcoin market cap, the altcoin season pulse chart, Bitcoin dominance, others dominance, and Bitcoin making sure it's holding those key levels, because that's going to tell the story for the rest of the altcoin. So I'll see you guys in the Discord. Link is in the bio, and I'll see you guys in the next video.